The rainbow in mysticism in ancient religions symbolizes a bridge, okay, between you and God. That's what a rainbow is. It symbolizes a bridge between the lower mind and the higher mind. That's the rainbow. And that's why people would always say there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because gold is the color of God. You know, the streets of gold. And that's the significance. So when we look into this, it's quite important, because in addition to the rainbow, in Revelation 4:3, it says we have the gems of jasper, a sardine stone, and emerald. And what they represent, all stones in the Bible represent things. And that comes out of the most ancient places of the East. These stones represent the virtues of the higher consciousness of the mind and the emotions. Now, in the ancient words, karita, K-A-R-I-T-A, it says, in that city shining with the splendor of gems, darkness like poverty could find no place. So gems and precious stones each have an individual meaning in mysticism, and if you don't begin to understand them, there's no sense in looking at the book of Revelation. There's no sense really looking at the Bible. It says Revelation 4:3, he that sat was to look upon like a jasper or a sardine stone. See, this is celestial imagery. Okay, a lot of people say, well, you know, you shouldn't get into that imagery. You should, because that's what it says in the Bible. He that sat was to look upon like a jasper or a sardine stone. He looked like a jasper or a sardine stone. This is in a dream state or a trance state or in deep meditation. Okay. Now the sardine is a deep orange and red. The jasper is a blue-green kind of aqua. And so now we have a description of God consciousness. This is a description of the effects of the higher nature of your being. And let's take a look at it, if you would, with me, and you'll get a better idea of how to approach mysticism in the Bible in the book of Revelation. Okay, the color rose red, okay, rose red means love. And these go back from the most ancient of times. Fiery red is ambition or emotions. Ambition, emotion, okay. Now we have scarlet, which is energy, life. Is that coming out dark enough, Franklin? A little light, is it? Maybe maybe I'll try this one. Okay. Yellow, okay. That's kingship. Okay, so that God's throne is gold. Green, astral, growth. That's growth of consciousness. So we'll put consciousness and growth. That's why they, you know, in the biblical stories, the sheep feed in the fields. Blue is intellect and peace, but it's intellect. What else we got? Purple is wisdom. Okay. White is purity and perfection. We'll call it perfection. That's why Jesus comes on a white horse. That means consciousness, which is beyond that of thought. And black is potential or ignorance, darkness, etc. Okay? So, now let's take a look at it before we go away, Franks. Yellow, it says here that he that sat upon was like in sight like unto an emerald. Okay? Now if we look, the emerald is a greenish color. Okay? And the sardine is a yellow red or an orange red. So here then, if it says, he that sat was like upon a jasper or sardine stone. That's what I'm looking about. Revelation 4:3. Jasper is green. And okay, and where we have green is the growth of divine consciousness in understanding and teaching. Because it's a blue-green, it's an aqua. So there you have understanding. You have intellect and conscious growth. And then you have the sardine stone, which is yellow and red, or an orange and red, and that red gives you ambition or power over the lower things, and the yellow red, which is the rose red with the kingship of God, it's the love of God which gives you power over the emotions, and of course the divine wisdom which gives you conscious growth. So there you then see about the renewed mind and why it says he that sat was to look like a jasper and a sardine stone. And there, both of them tell us that what it's simply saying in mysticism is that there is a control, okay, a godliness that brings love to give you control over the emotions, and a divine intellect that provides you with a growth of consciousness in understanding things and in understanding God. That's how they use stones, and that's why it's so important if you read the Bible. A lot of times you read in the Old Testament about the various stones and the gems that are in the breastplate of the high priest, and you just go on and read it. Well, you can't. You got to stop and find out what those stones mean to understand, because it's all written in symbols. It's all written in symbols. So then your meditation, now this is what's happening here. John's meditation brings him into this higher consciousness, which provides this, which is love, which is above the human plane, that gives power over the physical problems. That's what it tells us about the jasper and sardine stone. Now in Revelation 4:3, go back again, there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. Okay, now this is a beautiful picture of color. It symbolizes to people who lift themselves into a higher realm of consciousness. This entire beautiful experience, according to John, is like emerald. Now come back here for a minute, Frank. Emerald is green. It's a very deep green, and green is for the growth of consciousness, the growth of understanding. So the Bible here confirms everything that we've said before. Heaven is a state of growth into the higher or astral consciousness. It's actually meeting Christ in the air, no doubt about it, in consciousness. But then again, there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald. And they're telling you in mysticism in the book of Revelation, emerald, because emerald is a symbol of conscious growth. Okay?